Yes, indeed, of course, you caught us napping, you caught us napping, because we were either rehearsing some very simple things, or we were, of course, getting ready and to, of course, prepare our monitor so we could see ourselves as we, of course, beam to you, so to speak. But let me say, of course, a pleasant good night to all and sundry, East, West, North, South, Central, our friends in Tobago, and wherever you are, streaming on the World Wide Web. Pleasant good day to you. Yes, so this is, of course, the Corridor Transformation. Joshua and myself, Lennox Smith, your host. Of course, he will be here temporarily. I will, of course, continue on to 9:30, but he asked me tonight why he can be on a little longer. I mean, come on. I say, well, like you want to take over?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Why not?
And he said, why not as well? But that being as it may, I want to say, of course, school begins, the return to school, and of course, for some is a new experience altogether. Others, a new experience in the sense that they may be going to a new form or a new class, in the case of standard, in the case of the primary school. Others, a new experience altogether, first time going into elementary school, leaving, of course, kindergarten, so to speak, or the what is called the stage just before entering, of course, the primary level. It is called, of course, those early childhood centers. Some call it that. But that being as it may, of course, let me, without further ado, ask Joshua to introduce him, to give his opening comments. And of course, I know he's going to start with good night to all and so on before, because that is good etiquette. And of course, I'm preempting that just in case he make me look bad now. So I don't want that to happen. But of course, I see how you're watching me, so I know that he wouldn't fail. But, just out of an abundance of caution, parents are. But go ahead, my friend. Now go ahead, my son. Sorry about that.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing me on this live tonight. Thank you.
All right. But of course, he is a bit under the weather. So you'll understand that I will not press him too much tonight. Let me make sure I'm hearing that there's a volume issue. Let me make sure that we have that covered. All right. So, all right. So here we have it. Let me make certain that everything is up and running. Right. Good. So what we want to do tonight is the usual. We'll ask Joshua to read a passage of his choice of the book that he borrowed from the library, and we encourage, of course, young people to go to their respective libraries. I know that I have argued from time and time that, of course, that is an obsolete venture, an obsolete exercise, simply because the computer, and of course, now that students are going into Form 1, and there is a return of every single child will have a laptop, it means that therefore my argument probably could be better ventilated or better appreciated, because of course whether you're poor, whether you're middle class, whether you are upper class, the fact of the matter is that you will have a device that all the books in the world you could get from it, all the words in the world, all the experiences in the world, and of course at your fingertips without having to go to a physical library. But physical library has its place, because of course you can get a chance to interact with your peers, with your friends, and make new friends, etc. That is about it. But generally, in terms of information, your laptop or your device is equal to any other. And of course, tonight we will test some of that as well. Don't forget, of course, that tonight's topic is why it is that bullies should be stopped. And bully in school, bully out of school, bully at home, bully at work, etc., etc. So we'll broaden the base of the concept of a bully. But of course, I did that because school returns on Monday, the 8th. And of course, I want to make certain that Joshua, my son, understand what a bully is. And of course, he will give us maybe some of his experience, if any, whether he was a bully or somebody bullied him. I want him to talk the truth here because he doesn't like to talk the truth when coming to those things because he figure that somehow that is not for him and he will look less than what we expect if of course he tells us that somebody is attempting to bully him. So we will find out what is happening tonight with respect to that. So let's go there straight. Of course, he will spend about 10 to 15 minutes with us. And after that, of course, we will get into the substantive issues of the day. Around bullying, because, of course, we know that the Americans are in the Caribbean Sea. We know that Maduro has bullied his citizens, and many of them are out of there, migrated out of there. And, of course, we have about 100,000 of them here in Trinidad as a consequence of the bullying that they have experienced in Venezuela back home. And of course, a number of other issues that are taking place, and whether or not Trump himself may be a bully, you may want to argue. But let's go straight there. Well, you heard what I said, Joshua. Who and what you consider to be a bully? And have you been, and talk one time, have you been bullied or have you bullied anybody in school or elsewhere? Turn to me, you have to come to me because I don't want them to miss your head. Your head is out of the camera and therefore they will only see half of your head. So go ahead. You could watch the camera and speak. Don't try to look back at me.
In my old school,
Yes.
it had a boy
Uh-huh.
who used to just like come
Uh-huh.
and like he had some friends and they used to come and only try and bother me and things so.
So you consider that to be bullying?
No, just that sometimes they used to hit me and one day I just defend myself.
I see. And any action taken by you complaining to the teacher or the principal, or they complaining, or any intervention by any teacher in that situation? Because I mean, school is a place where you ought not to be fighting, and if they approach you in that way, what would have been what was the outcome of your experience? I don't want to say what should be. What was your experience?
Well, it had times that I wasn't like feeling in the mood.
Yeah.
And I just fight back.
You fight back,
I
okay.
know it wasn't the right thing, but
You knew it wasn't the right thing, but you still fought back, okay. Mm-hmm.
but most of the times I used to tell teacher
Most of the time you'll tell the teacher.
sometimes.
Sometimes, right, but not all the time. And why would you feel that at times you should not tell the teacher? What you figure that they will see you as a coward? They'll see you. That they will want to take more advantage of you. Why? Why would you not want to tell the teacher all the time?
I really don't know.
Oh, you really don't know. Okay. All right. So no such feeling come across you that you should be, that you will look like a coward, that you're snitching. You have terms like that. All it is used in playing and in interacting with each other, but nothing of the sort. Nothing like that.
No.
All right. Okay. Well, quickly before I ask you a question that I want you to use your, if you cannot answer it in totality, then I want you to consult your device. People, he's sniffing a little bit and he's coughing, but of course he's here because I told him I'll take another day or take another night, but he says no. So he has a ton load of tissue here with him. So this is live, this is direct, this is unedited. All right. So let's hear what he has to read. Read what you would like us to hear tonight, and then of course I will ask you the question. Let me tell you one time. I don't know if it will confuffle or puzzle your reading, but I want to tell you that I want to hear the 5 oceans tonight from you. But after you would have read, go ahead.
Okay. So the name at the book tonight because I'll be getting another book soon.
All right.
Soon.
But the audience would want to know what the story is all about, so they'll have a vision, because I know that reading is about traveling, is about
Aye.
playing on your mind and so on. Go ahead.
The name of this book is Captain Poopy Pants and the Hilarious Plot of Captain Underpants and the Hilarious Plot of Professor Poopy Pants.
All right. Okay. All right. Yeah, just speak up a bit so the mic could capture everything. I know people out there are saying that they're not getting you clearly, so we want to make sure that you are being heard clearly. You didn't choose a page yet, boy. Hurry up now, man.
I don't want to.
You don't you just spend the whole night with me, you know.
I will read one page.
One page, okay, right. Let's hear.
George closed all the blinds while Harold adjusted the ceiling fan so it would turn on when the lights came on. Finally, the boys filled the refrigerator up with warm shaped styrofoam packaging peanut pellets. This is going to be fun, said Harold, not for the teachers, laughed George.
All right, that's it. Let me, I like to read it to make sure that what he said is exactly what was written on this in this on this page. Which page it is? All right. It's page 34 of this book that he gave the name of already. I don't want to burden you with that. But he said George closed all the blinds, yes, so while Harold adjusted the ceiling fan so it would turn on when the lights come on or came on, yes. Finally, the boys filled the refrigerator up with warm shaped styrofoam, all right, right, packaging pellets, all right. This is going to be fun, said Harold, not for the teachers, laughed George. Not for the teachers, laughed George. I didn't hear that last part. Not for the teachers, laughed George. Is it might have a problem with the word laugh? Or you decide to leave it out? I think I didn't hear that. Oh, you said it. All right. All right, people, of course, you will confirm whether, because I didn't hear that part. Laugh, Joy. How do you spell laugh?
Laughed.
Right, I laugh. That past tense. So, but if you want to spell laugh, I spell laugh.
Laugh.
Huh? G what?
Laughh.
G, that's right. Good. Well, you had to song it out a bit as well. This is unrehearsed, people, and I wouldn't want it any better or any worse, or in fact, I want it to be deliberate. Why we are doing this? Because I want young people in Laventille, East Port of Spain, and so on to know it's all right to be, not to be correct all the time. But it's important that if you are wrong, that you correct yourself and then you move on. Remember, of course, that there were two examples at the highest level recently that I want to share with you, and the adults as well will, of course, remember. When the Minister of Homeland Security, Roger Alexander, fumbled a bit in the Parliament. Remember when he was reading his maiden or inaugural or first speech in the Parliament? And of course, the opposition, Gonzales, he said, well, listen, one of the opposition, he said, listen, the man can't read, etc. But then, of course, he came back and he showed not only that he could read, but he also gave a lesson. And the lesson is that if you are in a new situation, as Joshua is, and you fumble and you stumble a bit, bet your bottom dollar that is an experience. And then, of course, at the end of the day, you will become, of course, much more fluent, better, and therefore you'll be able probably ultimately to help somebody when they would have been fumbling. And then the second one, of course, is recently when the Prime Minister, Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa, she was heading towards the podium, I believe it was, when she stumbled and she fell. Physically, she fell down. She tripped and fall. And then she told the young lads when she got the opportunity to speak to them, but listen, just as me, don't be too concerned, don't be too depressed, don't feel that all is lost. All is lost. No, don't feel so at all when you fall down. In other words, in that case, it was a cricketing exercise. So she said, when you did catch a ball, don't feel that all is lost, even though it might have been a catch to win the match. But you go ahead and you struggle and you fight, and then every other ball you would have caught, then of course you would have done justice not only to yourself, but to the team that you would have been, of course, a part of, and the victory would have been even more nicer in such circumstances. Well, you see, of course, he is wiping and etc. etc. So let's get on to the 5 oceans. Tell me the 5 oceans of the world, and then of course you can make your departure after that. I know that he is of course still under the weather, but he decides to come on, and I will encourage those kinds of situations. At the risk of I myself catching the cold, but go ahead. You can't catch it because of the technology that is in between us. But of course we are in each other's presence. Go ahead. The 5 oceans of the oceans of the earth.
Indian Ocean.
Yes.
Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean.
Right. That's 3. Yeah, 2 more. Well, it means therefore you have to consult your device. All right, people, let's get the device going here tonight. Let him consult his tablet to find out the 2 oceans that he missed out. I know that, of course, maybe the anxiety and, that too has impact on people. Even adults as well may forget from time to time, even till they know it under normal circumstance. But good thing tonight we have a device that, of course, will assist him in finding out. And that is what I encourage all young people to do. Consult your device, because it is AI at work, meaning that artificial intelligence is not perfect, but sufficient to make sure that you get all the things that you need to get correct at the primary and secondary and even at the tertiary level. But go ahead.
I don't really think I need this right on top of my head. I think
you remembered?
I remember it now.
Okay, go ahead.
I will say it right now, but I will still use this app.
Okay, right. Okay, no problem.
Indian Ocean, Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Antarctic Ocean.
Antarctic, yes.
And Antarctic Ocean.
You say Antarctic twice, or is Arctic, Antarctic? Which one you say? Arctic and then Antarctic.
I'd say Antarctic.
Right, so, and what? Say it over. Don't try to trick me. You're trying to trick me. Don't trick me.
I'm not trying to.
All right, go ahead. Let me hear you.
Indian Ocean.
Yes.
Pacific Ocean. Atlantic Ocean.
Right. Antarctic, yes. Antarctic.
Arctic Ocean.
Antarctic, all right. Okay, good. Okay. I'll give full marks. I give him. All right, let's consult the device quickly and hear what it is saying in terms of that confirmation. Now, I want the young people who are listening and watching and learning, consult your device when you're having problem.
Guys, I've gotten it.
Stop the comic and when it's time for business, you get down to your work, because that is what's going to make you be able to get a good job and function in this society properly without having to study people with guns and criminal behavior and gangs and all. No! That will, of course, save you, and it will take you to prosperity and what you want in life. Go ahead, talk to your device and let me hear what it's saying.
I only get any pictures.
Yeah, but you ain't talking to Google. I want you to talk to Google, man. Loud.
Google, show me the 5
No,
oceans.
tell me the 5. Don't show. Tell me, so it will talk and you put it in the mic.
Google, show me.
Not show, tell. As in these people, of course, he's getting his system going. He has 2 devices. He has a smartphone, and he has, of course, a tablet. He chooses to use the tablet tonight. He did it earlier today, so I don't know why the delay, but go ahead.
Hey Google, tell me the 5 oceans of the world.
Right. Nothing yet?
Just words.
Why are you doing that? All right, okay. Well, we have to use let me use my phone then. Let me use my phone just to make sure that we are clear. Let me make sure you're clear. Tell me the 5 oceans of the world.
The 5 oceans are the Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Arctic, and Southern.
So there you have it, people, of course. The point I am making here is that all you, there should be no reason why you will not be able to answer a question like that when you get to school. Or mommy asks you or daddy asks you. Let's say it again. Name the 5 oceans of the world.
The 5 oceans are the Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Arctic, and Southern.
Right? And Antarctic, of course. It says something else, but this is Southern. That's called the Antarctic Southern Ocean as well. So there you have it. Anything? Yeah. Before you leave, come here.
I use Google instead of assistant.
All right. Okay. And
On
what's
this app called Assistant. Right
Okay.
here. I'm gonna use it now to see.
all right. To do the same thing. Mhm. Yes, we're waiting. We have a program to do. I have them people and them waiting to call in.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tell me the 5 oceans of the world.
All right.
Tell me the 5 oceans of the world.
According to BBC, the Atlantic Ocean, the Pacific Ocean, the Indian Ocean, the Southern Ocean, and the Arctic Ocean.
Yeah, yeah. Good. So the Arctic Ocean, the Southern Ocean is same as Antarctic Ocean. All right. All right. Well. Let me shake your hand, there, boy. Well done. Well done. All right, people, of course, well, that's the end of this segment for Joshua. Let me just say, of course, we will, of course, be looking at the news in a while, and in the process, of course, have a discussion as a consequence.
Once upon a time there was a magic island full of magic people. Let me tell you a story about their pain and their glory. Oh yeah. Many rivers flow to this naked eye, bringing fear and pain, but also a brand new style. And of all these rivers that shape this land, two mighty ones moved like a sculptor's hand. And today those hands across the land, man, is still landscaping. And there's no doubt we can work it out, there is no escaping. As the river flows, there are those who will change its passage. But every common man got to understand up and send a message. So put up your hand if you understand. Now come, see how we moving, watch how we grooving, see how we step in style. One lovely nation under a groove, the Ganges don't meet the Nile. Them boys with the hidden agendas and the mind benders, people don't take it front. We are smart men and politicians can come along if they want, 'cause the people got the power and the glory. See how we float in sky. See how we moving, watch how we grooving. The Ganges has met the night. Differences there will always be, so that you'll be you and I'll be me. That's the damn thing, self, that makes it.
Yes, indeed, of course. Once again, a pleasant good night to all on Century, East, West, North, South, Central, our friends in Tobago, and wherever you are, streaming on the World Wide Web. A pleasant good day to you. This is just the Corridor Transformation. Your host, Lennox, of course, Joshua just left us, and of course, he left us with some very, very valuable information. And that is, of course, his own experience with bullying, and whether he has not told us that whether he was a bully. We will try to discuss that tomorrow night. And once he's, of course, above the weather, so to speak, tonight, of course, he's not feeling too well, as was the case yesterday. But that being as it may, we have several, of course, issues that we want to address tonight. Of course, the most topical one is that of what? Of the unfolding situation in the Caribbean Sea. As far as the Maduro regime and, of course, the Americans present with military assets. And there's another escalation apart from, of course, blowing up alleged vessel that was carrying narcotics destined for Trinidad. We also have a situation where, of course, I think some bombers have been, of course, 10 bombers have also been deployed, having been told that the Venezuelans have, of course, attempted by way of intimidation to get close to, I think, one or two of the assets of the Americans. And they say they will blow them out of the sky as they have blown that vessel out of the water, as we have seen and announced by Donald Trump, the President of the United States. So, of course, we have quite a lot of information surrounding that, and therefore we should be, of course, on our P's and Q's. So, of course, once again, let's listen a little bit in terms of Trinidad and Tobago, and of course, it's one nation. All of us understand what we passed through in the last 9 years of the PNM, and never again must be the PNM be in government anytime at all in the future. Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
Yes, people, of course, we are back. We are back and I want to say at the same time, of course, we are on YouTube and Facebook. To get us on YouTube, you log into Corridor Transformation from 8 o'clock every night, except on Friday nights. So from 8 to 9:30. And then, of course, on Facebook, not to log on to Corridor Transformation on Facebook, but log on to Alfred John, and you will, of course, be able to see us as well, and hear us, see us and hear us, yes, on that particular platform. All right, so it's very important that we don't get mixed up, because if you do, you may well lose out on what we have in store for you as a program and as issues that are relevant to us. Of course, I want to also say, I want to thank to the bottom of my heart those persons who we didn't have to plea, but we had to place a case before them, that we had over 400 persons who have applied to us for back to school support. And up to yesterday, we had a very few to satisfy, because we had very limited books and pencils and pens and copybooks and notebooks, etc. We have not been able to fulfill the book list of quite a number of them, but we have been able to assist a few. I want to thank, he doesn't want that, but I want to thank Mohammed Bookstore in San Juan, because there are several of them that has, of course, provided. He doesn't want that kind of publicity, but I would want to express my personal, sincere gratitude for him, of course, saving the day, because we would not have been able to do it at all if it wasn't for that gesture of supplying the major part of school books and other accessories. And I want to say that the response we got today, only today, I mean, it is so inspiring. I accept to take some pictures, but I don't think we have the pictures of what transpired today, but quite a lot. We are able, I'm telling you, we are able to supply at least 100 persons with at least copybooks, because I went and collect myself with my assistant, and I can tell you, I mean, I was elated as the benefactor. The person who was providing these items was also very pleased so to do. And I want to tell you, these kinds of humanitarian gestures brings, of course, what I consider to be joy to people like myself, in terms of providing that kind of altruistic and taking care of the less fortunate among us. I think it is tremendous. It is really, really, really a good thing, a good feeling. And I want to, of course, encourage more people to assist in that regard. So I want to thank all of those who might have been involved in that exercise. Those are some of the bags there in the first set that we had to give out. I think we have a video of the entire thing here. We have a video of the entire thing. So you will have a better picture as to what is happening or what has been happening. And of course, we don't make it a point of, I consider to be, unless they want to, but we don't ask people to take their pictures when we're giving it out and all of that. I think they should say, well, I have no difficulty in so doing. And in those circumstances, we will, of course, set up the pictures and provide you with some pictures as to the handing out. Again, there's some problems with the with the app that we use to provide the pictures. I don't know why. Don't know why. But let's go to the lines in the meantime. Let's go to the lines. Pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor.
Good night, Professor Lennox.
Good night to you, my friend.
I want to ask you if you have any bags for Penny and Viviana. They had to go back to school.
Well, I noticed that they are taking credit and all of that for what they are doing. You notice we make it a point not to humiliate anybody without. I don't want to say without their consent, but I want to say that if they agree, then of course we will. But to have a session where you are going to advertise with the people who are going to receive it, I think to me is not morally right. Let me put it that way. But go ahead.
I agree. Why I ask you that? I think they have to go back to class, you know. Some of them didn't pass mathematics, comprehension, and essay. That's why I asked you, if you have any to give them.
I hear you. Yeah, because some of them, the dunderheadedness that they speak and the atrocious language that they use, it's better they didn't go to university at all, although they claim that they were. But let's hear what your contribution is. I'm sure it's going to be one that is classy and one that is informative. Go ahead.
Okay. The last time I was on radio was Dawn Report, and
yes.
I think from your response, it was a wow moment.
Yes. yes.
Let me continue on clarifying some of it. I think I wasn't specific enough for people to understand.
Right.
When I said the Monas, she was 6, and the beheaded man, the nephew of a former minister in the PNM, 6 and 5, 11.
Yes.
And based on the mathematics of the Attorney General, he said it is 19 to 25,000 per month. So the mathematics will say 11 by 25, by 12 years, by 20,000, approximately 50 plus million TT dollars. That is what we have spent on mining these 11 narco traffickers in Trinidad.
All right.
Now, I was listening to another television where Ian, I can be specific, where he said that go fast boat with 4 engines is not to catch fish. The only fish they want to catch is flying fish or what? That's a flying boat.
I hear you.
And what he said, based on the information he has gathered, that is a regular boat, goes up the coast and goes to Carenage. And which island is close to Carenage? It comes back again.
Yes. Monas, etc.
All right, I didn't say no more. Let me get to my additional information.
Yes.
You know, recently, the Americans gave us intelligence, and we intercepted a submarine in Trinidad waters, right? The Americans could come in and help us retrieve it. I want to ask the former Minister of National Security, and by extension KCR, why was that submarine not retrieved, and why are we so quiet in retrieving the body of that? I think it's
I think it's a sailor that went, one of our Coast Guard that went in, and he sank with it. So the information is all right. Okay.
No, but we're supposed to retrieve the submarine,
Yeah.
and the body of the man.
That's
And
right, that's
his
right.
family don't want it.
Yeah, because I think one could liken it to that tragedy out there on that rig, and even to today they are
Right.
still searching,
But-
even though it's a mangled pieces of steel and so on, but they're still looking for it in very inhospitable waters.
Right, but I like to be like Pandey. With a bird's eye view, focus on the target.
Uh-huh.
If the PNM had retrieved that submarine, that submersible,
Uh-huh.
what is the quantum of cocaine they would have found in it? Once they retrieved that, that would have signaled to us the quantity of cocaine we have been, as a state, allowed to pass through Trinidad waters. Because in Trinidad waters,
Yes.
the Americans know what was happening, the tip-offs of, but we did not retrieve it. And I'm sure it's a large shipment, and that was just told you how closely knitted we are to those narco traffickers.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of people didn't focus on that. Why didn't they retrieve it? The police and the security and everything, they board the submarine, it went down, and
Yeah.
collateral damage.
We have a
with
caller
respect to-
calling on the other line. I am cutting you off because I want you on the system that Mr. Diego Martin is on, so that we can get you the greatest of clarity. So don't feel that I'm ignoring you. Just hoping that he will finish in a short while, and then we'll see how we can get you on the system itself. Go ahead, Mr. Diego Martin.
All right, my second one might be conspiracy, but I've been thinking about it.
Okay, go ahead.
This pilot that has been kidnapped, he is a Caribbean airline pilot, right?
Right.
I, as a citizen of Trinidad, I want to know if he was or frequently traveled the Trinidad-Caracas route. I'm just throwing out that.
All right.
I have heard that he might have had a business that basically cater for freight forwarding using a small aircraft.
All right.
And I'm saying no more.
Okay, then,
Well,
my friend. All right.
stop.
Thanks very
Okay.
much. Yes. Yes, indeed. Of course, the person that was calling all the time, as again, I deliberately cut off the call on the handset because I want to get you on the studio set, if you want to call that, the studio system, which will make you much more audible, and of course we can reciprocate, or we can have a conversation, and of course the callers and the listeners out there can of course benefit from the discussion that will emanate from the interaction. All right, so you can call now. But of course, a very interesting developments that are taking place. In fact, Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State of the United States, did in fact echo what the Prime Minister in Trinidad has been saying all along. She was very vehement. She was very vocal. She was very vociferous. All right, let's see if I'm gonna get it. All right, I'm not getting it on the system, so let's take it. Let's take it from here. Pleasant good night. Pleasant good night. Welcome.
I don't know if you're able to help me.
Hello.
There's this program called The Projecto with Heavy and PC. Would
Uh-huh.
you be able to help us why the program was happening with them?
Well, just as the ground report is the financial constraints, and that I understand is the basic reason why they are off. Of course, the ground report a little more resilient, so we still continue our program on YouTube and Facebook and social media. But you notice that we are off Gael, and that is because we have we have a financial constraint that have prohibit us from airing on these programs. I suppose TC and they, my understanding is they have a similar issue, but it appears that that has taken them totally off. Otherwise, of course, we on the ground report are a little more resilient. We're a bit older and more experienced, I suppose. So that's why. Any other question you want to ask, ma'am? All right. So we have dealt with that. Yes, indeed. So here it is that Mark Rubio has been touting the same language of the Honorable Prime Minister Kamala Prasad Bisasa, in that drugs, whether you're a drug lord, whether you're a drug mule, whether you are a narcotic state, whether it's emanating from Central or South America, the fact of the matter is that has created havoc for Trinidad and Tobago. And Mark Rubio, in his justification for that massive presence of military assets of the Americans in the Caribbean, has echoed a similar sentiment. That, in other words, I am interpreted to mean I'm feeling sorry for Trinidad. So we are here to assist you at the same time whilst we are assisting ourselves from preventing these poison from reaching the shores of the United States. Right here in the Caribbean, where the source of that scourge exists. Let's go straight to the line. A pleasant good night. Welcome Mr. Tagarigua. Mr. Tagarigua, welcome. Mr. Tagarigua?
Hello?
Yeah, welcome.
This is not Tacarigua.
Oh, sorry, Mr. San Fernando. All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry about that. Yes.
I want to call you to say this tonight.
Yes.
I was looking at a few clippings of from Nigeria.
Uh-huh.
And I did some research concerning that clipping project.
Uh-huh.
But and I understand that to get to Nigeria you have to have a visa.
Yes.
And I was wondering why do you have to have a visa to get to Nigeria? But when you do the research, you find out that Nigeria is full of terrorism acts and scams and so forth. Right?
Yeah. Watch me, as you talk there, just because it's a bit hilarious as well. We remember when, of course, the then Prime Minister Rowley came from a trip abroad, I think it was the United States, and he said that, of course, Trinidad and Tobago is in for a not unsubstantial amount of money from the Bill Gates Foundation, and by midnight he had to say that he was scammed, and that was traced to Nigeria. I just thought I should interject that, but go ahead.
Yeah, and I get to understand the reason for they having the visa is because of that same situation.
All right.
Because they checking people in and out.
Yes.
But no, why I'm going down this road is because we have always been saying that our borders were not protected here in Trinidad.
All right.
For the last 10 years or so, because 12 boats were bought or so under the UNC government, and they just scrapped it and put it on the Shagaramas thing around there.
Yeah.
And leave it, maybe get the rut. But we have a situation here now in the Caribbean. Venezuela has always treated Trinidad fishermen badly over the years. So now the situation has gotten worse in terms of Rowley and they allow Venezuelans into the island, right? But the situation is much more than that, and it's even worse because now that the U.S. is right?
Yeah.
A lot of Venezuelans going to be running, and I suspect that they will run in, and they're coming into Trinidad secretively on that Chagaramas area, you know.
Yeah.
So we are still not protected, and you never. And now I can understand also why, too, the PM has called not just a state of emergency, but even the Independence Day parade. So you know, a lot of people now, and I'm wondering what some people are hypocrites.
Yeah.
Right? So therefore, what I'm saying is, if let us just say, I just say, right? Most people criticizing the PM for calling the state of emergency and then not having the Independence Day parade.
Yes.
But the hypocrisy will be if, let's say, just say the PM decides she ain't gonna do anything about it. The same people, right, who was criticizing her for doing, right, will take a turn in her ways for not doing.
Yes, yes.
So it's better she do it.
Yes.
That's my opinion, right?
Okay.
You follow where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So you know, and you know the thing about it is that tonight what I want to say is I love what you did with your little son, right?
Thank you.
To teaching people what should be done, right?
That's right.
And I want you to, and some of these same PNM people should be listening to it. Tell them same PNM people, it needs 15. Because all of them are contrary, right? And you know, the thing about it is they're not saving face at all, you know. They're not saving the face at all. They're watching you with the same old face and going down a hypocritical road with foolishness.
Yeah, but well, you know, they say that when you do the same thing over and over, particularly if it is negative, you're either mad or you're like a dog. You're sucking egg. You won't learn your lesson, but of course you'll have to pay the consequences. So suppose that is what is happening to them, and that is what will happen to them as they continue, of course, to flounder and to flip-flop and to, of course, deteriorate politically. Their political currency has no value at this point in time, simply because of attempting to do the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. What is that thing? Lying to people, pretending that what they are but are not, and of course giving all kinds of hyperbolic and what I consider to be phantasmagorical stories that has no basis in reality. I mean, take for instance, Bongo, the PRO for the UNC, he said his personal position is that Trinidad and Tobago, the first prime minister, was not Eric William. And then, of course, he gave his rationale for it by saying that there was a federation at one point in time, an election was called. It was, of course, a legal exercise, and of course, Bustamante is it Bustamante? Well, yeah, was the first prime minister. What is so difficult in that to understand? But they're trying to make it look as though the UNC is trying, of course, to discredit and to, of course, take away something from Eric Williams and, of course, the evolution. Of course, what we know for sure is that Eric Williams, if we had a different person, Trinidad and Tobago would have been the Singapore today of the West. That is what we know. But go ahead, my friend.
Mr. Smith.
Hey.
We went through this with the NER already. I remember,
Yes.
I was quite much younger.
Right.
Listening to A.N.R. Robinson right here in San Fernando
Right.
on Harris Promenade. A.N.R. Robinson went through that thing already with the Federation. And he explained that on a platform right here in San Fernando.
Wow.
I remember that clearly. He explained that to people right here in a big meeting that was held in 19, just before the election, the 1986 election.
Yes,
So
man.
I don't know what people talking about. You understand?
Yeah,
People
so
shoot at-
yeah, and what they want to what you see the myth that they have created that the infallibility of Eric Williams electorally is not so. He was on the wrong side in that very first election in the Caribbean for Mass Party ascendancy, and that party lost.
the party lost.
That's right. This party lost. At the very first elections in the entire Caribbean, because it was the English-speaking Caribbean that came together under the Crown then, yes, in an act of parliament in the UK that created, of course, the federation, right?
Yeah.
So let us not waste time by attempting to claim that there's some kind of revisionist agenda on the part of the UNC, when the UNC has first and foremost nothing to do with it. But of course, Mr. Mongrou has said in no uncertain terms that is his observation. He's a doctor of politics and other qualifications, and therefore he has said that you could look for that information in various universities across the globe that have accepted that as a piece of research material, and therefore there's nothing the PNM can do to wash away that, because history cannot change. But go ahead, my friend.
But in a sense, sorry, I didn't have if I had a video camera at that time,
Yes.
I would have taken that whole session as evidence to show you what.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
what
yeah.
Robert said.
It's part and parcel. That is why I said earlier that their political currency has no value, because they will use those type of, should I say, deliberate misinterpretation, deliberate mal messaging, deliberate attempt to misinform and disinform. That is what they are. That is how they are, and that is despicable, and it is not acceptable at this time. People are too intelligent, too wise, and have access to information technology, as we saw with the little Joshua earlier, to tell us, well, how many oceans there are and what they are. That is what is happening. So therefore, Rowley and they could talk from now until thy kingdom come. The facts are that the first prime minister of all of the English-speaking Caribbean, as we knew it then, would have been a person other than Eric Williams, the Barbadian premier who ended up being the prime minister of the federation after the elections, and prime minister of Barbados as well. I don't think it's Bustamante is another gentleman. I'll get it before the program finishes. Yeah.
But the last point is this.
Yeah, go ahead.
The last point is this. I like what you did with your son.
Thank you.
You know, when it came across just now, right, there was something in my mind which I want to see, because for big people, and I think you said it the night before or during the week here, I am amazed that big people, right, who have gone on to the university and whatever, and they get doctorate or whatever, right? Have no common sense at all.
Yeah, and that was made before book. That was made, according to my mother, that was made before book. She didn't go to any university, but anybody with a common sense will know that. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody run a tape, I think it was like before with that, because he's talking us about crap about what cockroach, who cockroaches in what that, and somebody spray but I mean,
Well, if they have a campaign, she included, if they have a campaign where they have a cocaine broom and sweeping, I mean, it worked for them, so they believe, but got one seat short of what they had before, from 13 to 12. they must know they must know that cocaine broom turn on them and it's to sweep them out, and they got swept out.
And for a person who held the Ministry of Education for far so long, 10,000 children
Yeah.
children on your list each year, right?
Yeah.
And you ain't doing anything about that, right? And you're coming out now to talk all kind of foolishness.
Yeah, I think that they have gone berserk. I think that they are in cognitive and intellectual decline. And I think, of course, that there is another term that I like to use in circumstances like this, which is, of course, is a cognitive dissonance, where they wish to be somewhere that does not exist, and that they continue, of course, to talk in a way to promote themselves, when in fact they should be hiding their faces behind some drum or some
Some kind of thing.
yeah or some labas, yeah.
Anyhow, yeah, that's my final point for
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that contribution.
okay,
Yes. Right. Bye-bye. Yes, indeed. Once again, of course, I cannot overemphasize our collective and individual thanks to those who responded only today. And therefore, they put us in a position where we can provide something like for 200 of the 400 in terms of notebooks and copybooks and so on. We have yet to get the bags and so on, but we have commitments at the end of the month as well, so that it will be a continuing process. And of course, I want to say it's the first time we have had so many people that we have to consider and take care of. And I don't think it's because of the advent of the new administration. I think it's because of the advent they have come forward. But clearly that couldn't be a situation that developed overnight. That was since back then. And let's face it, when one see the deprivation of laptops and telling you about what a means test, and Dolly or Dali, whoever her name is, she's still talking about means test. But means test, it appears, for all and sundry. No, you don't need that. You give everybody who come into Form 1 a laptop, and you don't need any means test for what? What you want a means test for? You have equalized the playing field. You don't have the headache of having to discern and to evaluate and to pay people to do that. But give everybody, because you will be accused of discrimination, and a means test is exactly that. Because who is to tell that the person who is administering that means test on behalf of the ministry, if they themselves may be biased, one, or have a notion as to what is poverty, and because a person comes into the room and they're wearing a pair of gold chain, a pair of gold earring and a gold chain, and they are looking fine, nicely groomed, they may well interpret that to be what? A person who can provide a laptop. And this is a state. And we subscribe to, of course, the principle of what? Of the welfare state. That there is no need for any means test, Dolly, or indeed Donna Cox, or indeed Penelope Beckles. That is deprivation. Because among the poor, there are those who only will determine, and we have seen it. Only tired say that when you go in the house, you're seeing a television and a washing machine and a fridge, and therefore they ain't poor. That is asinine. That is asinine. Why? Because when you look at where the fridge, the sewing machine, the washing machine even the dishwasher or the other appliances that is of necessity in modern and contemporary times to have. What home will want to do without a washing machine today? A long time you can go by the river and wash some clothes and spread it out on a stone. How you can do that in modern time? Not even in rural communities, far less for urban community. And they're so stupid. They're saying that to suggest that somehow the people have money, when in fact you could easily get a fridge, a stove, a bed on hire purchase. Paying for it is something that cumulatively may cost about $10,000. You're paying $100, $200, $300 a month on all of it. They're so dumb, they're so dense, they're so obtuse, they're so nincompoopish that they don't understand that. But the argument is so flawed, is so incongruent with common sense. It is as if these people are devoid of simple common sense or empathizing with what is happening on the ground. You see, the fact that they could say that they live in, of course, in shacks, in not well developed housing accommodation, whether it be in Beetham phase 5, let's put it that way. I'm saying 1, 2, and 3 because the government stepped in and provided, of course, indoor plumbing, etc. For these residents, ultimately. But when it was Shantytown, or you look on the hill, John Hill, and you see the disorganized and the helter-skelter construction of places that people live. And then they would say that from the outside, you can't tell that they're poor. It's when you go inside, you will see that they're rich, asinine. Because the person who is rich and well off, and relatively well off, will not want to live in a board house on a hill. So many of them perched on the hills of John and Picton. Come on. And they're using that as the example to deprive you of your just due as a citizen of this country, as a taxpayer of this country. Taxpayer here meaning that when you buy a bread or when you buy any item that attracts VAT, you're paying tax. So what are you telling me about? So to say that a person living in a shack, a board house, and because they have a fridge and stove and washing machine in it, that they're not poor, is a structure, is a concoction, is a manufacture, a verbal manufacture of the PNM to keep you in bondage and to, of course, generate by the PNM policies and programs that further deteriorate your circumstance, because you have in a board house a fridge, a stove, a washing machine. These backsides don't understand. They don't. And therefore we must see them for who they are. Tell us that kind of hogwash. You will see the difference with when the UNC begins to unfold, having gotten total grasp and control of government and the apparatus of government. You will see. Yes, one can say that the change of government came at a time when the PNM was at the zenith, at the top of the nefarious game, and the deprivation game, and the mismanagement game, and the corruption game. Because never before the PNM had attempted to fix Bullies house the way how they did. So that alone tells you that paints a holistic and a picture of total and absolute conman and conwomanism. Conman and conwomanism, man. Is that waste time? And then their policies demonstrates a continuation of the deprivation and the further deterioration by their policies and programs of persons who are already poor. So you have an underclass that they develop in full stride over the previous 9 years, or the 9 years that they were in office, up to, of course, the 28th of April. Let us not waste time. But people, of course, the line is open. I know that you like to hear me extrapolate and, of course, to analyze, because no one else does it as we do on the corridor transformation. It's real. So I thought I should, of course, once again, if you want to call it, attack the nonsense that the PNM is speaking on the podium and elsewhere. Professor, good night. Welcome to the corridor.
Good night, Lennox.
Good night, my friend. Good night.
Hey, I come too late in the live, man, because
yes, man.
I just stop here, take my shower, one thing, and I come back and draw.
All right.
Hey,
yes.
You know it is. Hey, you was talking about something about because of taxing everybody because they have a house. That's what it's about?
Yeah, because you have a board house. Yes, sir, you have a board house, right? But you have a fridge, a stove, and and a washing machine in it. The PNM is trying to tell us that these people are not poor.
Well, let me put it my own. It's not about they want to tax them all about that. It's about to steal all the money from the treasury. So what happened now? They make up some money somewhere to pay the government worker and pay different government of different department money. So they don't have any money. It's easy to understand this. They keep all the money, they have no money. You see when Kamala comes into the office on the treasury, they have no money?
Yes.
All the while they had done that long time ago. So what they are doing, they come with some kind of strategy to make money to pay the government workers and pay other people who is working like Sept and all of them.
Yeah, I call it trying to take blood from stone. Stone. The people being the stone.
They had was to do that because of they took all the money from the treasury and they have no means of generating money to put back in the treasury to pay these workers and the government workers.
Go to the top of the class. Go to the top of his class. That was the plan, to domestically extract. We saw it, of course, when they invent the $100 note that they say you must take out from under your mattress and bring it to them. You had about three amnesties, tax amnesty. That is how only conmanship and shenanigans they were engaged in order to manage the day-to-day affair of the country without, of course, any sustainable long-term means of generating income so as to sustain Trinidad and Tobago. Let's not waste time. But go ahead, my friend.
Yes, but now the parcel active. Now the parcel is coming together because that is why they did that. The money about the change, but that's not about that. They wanted to take all these poor people money to pay other people work. They use the money,
Yeah, that's right. That's what they did.
They use the money. Don't get fooled.
Yeah.
They use the money. And I know other people who think outside the box. We think outside the box all the time. And
Yeah.
try to teach the viewers and try to try to figure out what is really going on. Because sometimes they don't see, they don't realize that that's what they're doing and think they're doing a good job, but it's not.
Yes.
It happens that Lennox because all these people, all this government, all them wasn't it. Because everybody has to get paid.
Yes, and they decided to engage in nefarious, illegal, underhanded, slipshod way in order to treat with it. Because what you are saying is so correct. Because if it is that they would not profligate, if it is that they were not corrupt, if it is that they misuse and abuse the money, if they didn't do that, well, how come the Auditor General is saying that they cannot account for $3 billion? How come?
But exactly.
And that could have been used if it could have been accounted for, because that is income we're talking about here, not expenditure. On the expenditure side, they lost too, but $1 billion. But on the income side, $3 billion, where that gone? And that could have paid salaries, and that could have, of course, keep the economy running a little more smooth. That could have, of course, generate opportunities to invest so that you can earn an income and diversify the economy. In other words, in order to make certain that things move smooth. But no, they profligate, they waste, they corruptly cause our monies to disappear, and then, of course, punish the population, especially the poor, by trying to tax them out of existence. I mean, it is pathetic. That is criminal. Go ahead, my friend.
But Lennox, that is what the purpose is about. We are talking about this here. But that is what the purpose is about, to tax the people back, property tax, this tax, that tax, to make up money to pay the people that didn't have no money.
After they have caused to disappear.
Long time ago.
Yeah. After they have caused to disappear all that money. Yeah. After they can account for over $3 billion, and I'm sure by the time the first budget of this government is read, we're going to get the full amount that has disappeared. I'm sure, because there must be collaboration between the Minister of Finance and the Auditor General, who was strident that she will not be made a scapegoat.
But Mr. Lennox, somebody have to give account for that. This is not a joke, This somebody have to get account for
it's
that money.
It's a serious business, of course. It's a serious business.
That's corruption and that's criminal act.
Yeah. That's criminal.
To put the country in that tail spinning
Yeah. Today,
right?
how long they have to take.
Kamala have to do. Kamala have to trace all that money. It's in somebody's bank. It is somebody's pocket.
Yeah. And imagine they pass a supplementary budget for all of the ministries, and yet still it appears that things are so sparse, it's so thin, it's so emaciated that it has generated a prolonged kind of depression in the society. Because look, you have to look at URP, you have to look at Sept, you have to look at the deforestation program, you have to look at WASA, you have to look at the telecommunications, you have to look at Angostura. I mean, it's overwhelming. But of course, I know that in the fullness of time, there is a capability and a capacity and a willingness of the present administration to treat with all of those matters, and in the fullness of time, Trinidad and Tobago will be back on even keel.
But Lennox, what Amber had mentioned all in budget all the time. Before that, then and before that, it didn't have no money there, That was a propaganda bullshit.
Yeah. When he told us that, of course, the economy has turned around, and then he could see clearly now the rain is going. All kind of rigmaroles. Yeah, rigmarole talk.
They don't rake the money from the treasury already, whatever remain.
Yeah.
Or whatever little that they gone with it the other day, they gone with it. But they don't have no shame, You meet our government. You meet turnover government 2015. you turn over treasury to government, new government with all that kind of money, and you come and tell me that you can have account what you do with the money, and you did not do any infrastructure, nothing in the country to show. Come on.
And has the audacity to ask where the money coming from?
I listen to that jackass.
Because they know,
sorry to say that.
They know that there is
Right?
none. So that is why they're saying that. They know they left none.
I watched that man. I watched that man when he said that. I said, amen. You think everybody's a fool? You think everybody's a fool? Who you fooling?
Yeah.
You think you have no shame to come and say the treasury, this government are running with no money? That say where the money went to?
And telling this government, listen, if you implement the Trinidad and Tobago Revenue Authority, you go get money. You go get it. Not that by itself, if you implement it, will cause money to be in the treasury. Because that's how it's sounding to the esoteric or those who are unfamiliar with the nonsense that these people speak. Because causing a revenue authority to come into being doesn't mean that there's automatic money that you will get to, of course, manage the fiscal and general management of the society by a government. That is asinine. And again, I think they had some other, the property tax. The property tax.
Right, but I don't want to say the property tax.
Yeah. How we are getting, use that. But property tax, when they implemented it, they could have only got in, I think, about 80 million or something. So I doubt it's 800 million. Right. 80 million they collected. 80 million. So they were doomed.
But still they were money.
They were doomed.
The money what they had.
Yeah, they were doomed to bust Trinidad and Tobago. They were doomed. And we have seen that if it wasn't for the UNC's intervention and the coalition of interests, Trinidad would have been the underdog in more ways than one.
Hey, Mr. Lennox, if it's any other country, they're jailing them.
Well, I think we could consider Trinidad and Tobago in the category of any other country because they will have to pay the criminal and civil price for what they have done to us. So if it was any other country, we'll put Trinidad in the other country category. They have to pay. Must pay.
Why they are scared of the American down there and the worship and things behind Maduro. But they have more than that. Because Raleigh, Raleigh and input and Mr. tight pants. Smoking. right, all of them. They have something to do with Maduro. So why are you going over there every minute? Something wrong.
Yeah, they are palpitating.
Something wrong, Mr.
They are palpitating.
Something wrong there.
All over. The bottom palpitating, the heart palpitating, the brain palpitating.
Like church service.
Yeah. So we know.
Right, because
we understand it. We understand. And I want to thank, of course, the Americans for making that decision.
Right, Mr. I will keep you back now.
Yeah. All right, thanks. It was very interesting indeed and very informative.
Anyhow, Mr. Lennox, that's what should be going in the report. You should keep the fire on.
Yeah,
definitely. And we've been full of our side. Yeah, all these things should be going on. All this should be going on over there to make sure that the people understand at Trinidad and Tobago that the money that how Kamala running this country is because she don't have the money.
That's right. All right.
And they have to let the people know because they think it's your money and they together, but that is not true.
Yeah. I see somebody trying to get in again, so thanks.
All right.
Yes. All right. Okay. I have, of course, cut off the person on the handset. Call back and we'll get you on the studio system so that you can speak as clearly and as vividly, if you want to call it that. All right, good. There we go. Pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor. Good night. Welcome to the corridor.
Good night, Mr. Lennox, and good
Good
night to
night to you,
everybody
my
on the
friend.
live.
Yes, indeed.
And
Yes.
good night, Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
Mr. Lennox,
Hey,
I like the conversation that's happening
thank you.
because when I think about it, just imagine $144 billion.
Yeah, boy.
We ain't see nothing for that. Nothing, we ain't see for that,
Nothing.
Nothing, right? And these people and them all over the place calling all kind of press conference and all kind of stupidness. It's amazing,
But it
Trinidad
reminds
and
me.
Tobago.
It reminds me of Rowley's stint as Prime Minister, and of course the most despicable, the most hated individual and Prime Minister in this country and would ever have. Is when he uses, of course, aggression being the best form of defense. That's what happened with them. They are,
Yeah.
yes, but really and truly is self-righteous indignation. Suddenly they have a sense of morality. Suddenly they have a sense of fairness. Suddenly they have a sense of equality. Suddenly they have a sense of the rule of law and all of that. All of which was thrown out the window when they were in government. Yet still.
Exactly.
So we know that they are desperate. That's why I talk about, of course, cognitive dissonance. So they believe in something, and they are acting in a particular way, which of course they know is ironic and different to how they operated when they had the opportunity for 9 long years. Go ahead, my friend.
Yeah, well. That is PNM. It's only when they're out of office they have that sense of morality,
Yeah.
But while they're in office, it's another story.
Yeah, but we'll bust them up. We'll bust it up. We will make people know who they really are.
Exactly. No, another thing is,
Yes,
I
go
want to
ahead.
move on from PNM because there's that drama king and drama queen. So
Yes.
I'm moving on from that.
Go ahead.
Right? When they're out of office, right?
Yes.
So in office too. This Cabello man,
Yeah.
right? Well, I see here in the general, here one of them generals struck in Trinidad and Tobago. But I want to tell Mr. Caballo that you have a little pig feast and thing now.
Yeah.
You understand? I want to tell Fat Man, here what's going on now. For the last 10 years, it's Trinidad and Tobago money was mining Venezuela, You're so ungrateful. You understand? You're so damn ungrateful. But I want to tell Stuart Young too, find a way to get back Trinidad and Tobago money, that you give Venezuela in the last 10 years. You understand? Because all they come into office with the intention to lie, to deceive, and to thief. You understand? And now all they out of office.
And they did that. They did exactly that.
Yes.
They did exactly what you just said, my friend. So go ahead. Yes. Yeah.
So right now the Bamsi clapping like a church service right now.
Oh yes.
Because
oh, yes,
as soon as
I think it must be more loud, like something like the stadium last night.
boy, you're telling me, as soon as Trump come in office, you see the big nose, ugly ballhead one jump out of office one time because he don't want to be prime minister anymore.
Yeah. Otherwise
You can believe that?
But the old people have a saying, "When you meet you in pass you." So he's seeing
Exactly.
all kinds of illusion. He paranoid. He's seeing, of course, Interpol following him. I shock he didn't see. I shock he didn't see a submarine below the sea, even though, of course, he living in Tobago. I shock he didn't say that yet. That a submarine targeting his house. Boy, that man is an
Mr. Lennox.
evil son of a gun. Go ahead.
The man living a life of delusions, of illusion. Sorry,
yeah,
living a life of illusion,
Yeah, cognitive. Yeah. The man, manic depressive. Yeah, manic depressive psychosis. Yeah, lost all sense of reality. All sense.
For real.
Yes, spontaneously. All right. Yes, of course, people, we have come to the end of tonight's program. Very interesting indeed. Of course, I know we have now started. I know that more will be calling in. My apology for those who I maybe missed because I dismissed your call on the device. Except for Mr. Tagarigua, I would normally, of course, try to get you on the system so we have a very, what I consider to be healthy and favorable and audible conversation as we did with the last caller. But have a wonderful rest of the night. God bless. Don't forget, of course, I want Words cannot express my deep, and all of us deep appreciation. And tomorrow, of course, we have to go on another journey to collect some things as well, so that whilst things did not turn out to, at the beginning, to be or to express or suggest or to project the optimism that we have now, I want to tell you, tenacity, commitment, dedication, and a sense of where you want to go and be, all of those are critical elements for eventual success. It also means that you may be disappointed, but you do not give up. You continue to persevere. Continue to what? Persevere. And as the saying goes, try and try and try again. You'll succeed at last. Have a wonderful rest of the night. God bless. And see you, of course, tomorrow night. And stay tuned. We may have some Sunday programs coming up when Dr. Khalid returns to the country. We may have a Sunday night. Money is of inconsequence when people's lives are at stake, and when you have to save a country as beautiful, as magnificent, and I want to use the word as well, munificent, but at the same time, saturated and filled with beautiful people, with beautiful intent, being brothers and sisters and children's keeper. But what we would have experienced in the last 9 years prior to the 28th of April is nothing short, not just of disaster, not just of barbarianism, not just evil, not just Luciferian propensity, but one that says to Trinidad and Tobago, never again. And let us find the will and find the determination to be our brother's keeper once again, eliminate those negativities that was generated and proliferated under the PNM. The PNM itself being relegated to the dustbin of political history, never to rise again. Its obsolescence and its inability to manage anything in contemporaneous Trinidad and Tobago is well established, known, and should not and never at all be eradicated or dislodged from our minds. It must be indelibly planted. We just have to watch Balize House. That will never finish. Let me repeat. Remember I said that before the election? Balize House will never finish. And it will be there and is there as a symbol of what Trinidad and Tobago should never find itself in ever again. After we have come through these, of course, small patches of challenges under the UNC, Kamala Prasad Bisasa, and the coalition of interests. Have a wonderful rest of the night. God bless. I'll see you tomorrow night. Yes, I know. Yes, Joshua is expected to be there. All right, he is under the weather, but I'm sure that he will rise above that, as you saw him sniffing on the program. But it's a live program. I told you we're going to do it raw, and you see that he used the technology. He uses his memory in order to, of course, tell you, of course, the 5 oceans. I'm sure that those young persons are raring for tomorrow's program, and of course, he will read for you impromptu, without, of course, you know, he bothering me now. Tell me what? Don't say like this. Tell me. You wanna come on? Come and sit. Come and sit, man. Like the man wanna take over my program. Yeah, go ahead.
Since we are leaving, I would like to say, well, I just drink a little bit of water.
And
I'd like to say bye-bye.
bye-bye. Okay. People, have a wonderful rest of the night. God bless you. See you tomorrow. And we will end as we started. All right, okay. Let's go to...
Once upon a time there was a magic island full of...
I want to say I had difficulty with the video, so I couldn't play any tonight. But we will check that and be ready for you tomorrow night. Bye-bye.
Many rivers flow to this naked eye, bringing fear and pain, but also a brand new style. And of all these rivers that shape this land, two mighty ones move like a sculptor's hand. And today those hands across the land, man, is still landscaping. And there's no doubt we can work it out, there is no escaping. As the river flows, there are those who will change its passage. But every common man got to understand up and send a message. So put up your hand if you understand. Now come, see how we moving, watch how we grooving, see how we step in style. One lovely nation under a groove. The Ganges don't meet the Nile. Them boys